Hello, welcome once again to Pale Blooms and Beyond. Thank you for joining us today. If you do like the programming you see here and the musicians and artists I visit with, please be sure and hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Patrick Fitzgerald is an English musician who may best be known as a member in the band Kitchens of Distinction from 1986 to 1996. The band was a trio of Patrick, lead singer and bass, Julian Swales, guitar, and drummer Daniel Goodwin. During their time together, there were 4 albums released. A reunion of the members saw the release of a 5th album in 2013. Post Kitchens of Distinction, Patrick would record as Fruit and also with Heidi Berry as Lost Girls. 2014 would see the release of an album by Lost Girls. Since 2000, Mr. Fitzgerald has been very busy and his output has been quite prolific. He's recorded as his alias Stephen Hero with 5 albums to date, along with several singles. Then there was the April 7 with an album and his collaboration with Yves Altana and Oscar's drum, which has led to a couple of albums. Patrick is currently busy doing live shows for the first time in 8 years. Well, welcome, Patrick.
Thank you. Hello. That was a good praise, see?
you know, I've done a few where the guys say, okay, well, that says it all. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I like to, when I first started, it was maybe a couple of sentences doing these. And I said, no, I can give a little bit more, as an intro.
Sure.
So, well, take us back. Where were you born?
I was born in Switzerland in the middle of Europe. Yeah. My mum was Swiss. So I was born there. My dad was Irish, and it was a weird combination. Then, aged 1, they moved back to England. And then I was in England from age 1 to 10. And then we moved to Canada. And I lived in Canada, in Ontario, for 3 years. And then we moved back here, and I've been in England ever since, apart from 3 years in Ireland. I lived in Ireland for 3 years.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I knew the Fitzgerald was an Irish name. So,
Yeah, so
okay,
that's my dad. Yeah.
okay, all right, all right. Well, do you recall either in Canada or back in England growing up hearing music in the household?
Yeah, my mum was an obsessive classical music player. She would usually play very miserable. The sadder, the better. So Brooks Violin Concerto was a regular. Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto #2, that was often played. She just liked to sit there and weep to classical music, which I think had a profound effect on me of some kind. I should have gone off and done sort of hardcore disco, really, as an antidote to that.
Right.
But maybe it infected me with that kind of longing for some sort of depth of feeling. But
Yeah.
yeah, so as soon as I could, I found a way out of her obsession with miserable classical music. My dad didn't care for music at all, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
insisted on that they bought me a piano when I was 7. I just wanted to play piano. They had no interest, and and then from then on, I just sort of wouldn't let go.
Yeah. Did you take
First,
lessons, piano
I
lessons?
did have lessons. Yeah, I was obsessive. I wasn't very good. I'm
Yeah.
still not very good piano player, but I just loved playing piano. Um, and then I found at the age of 10 Elton John,
Oh,
and that was my gateway. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, 1973, 74, I think.
yes,
And
yes,
that was it. I was in Elton. Uh,
yes,
and what a record! What a strange and difficult record. But that was the one. That was my first album I bought.
yes, yes,
And
indeed.
yeah, Someone Saved My Life Tonight was on that. And
Oh,
of course, it had that amazing piano riff. So I had to learn how to play that.
right. I remember when first hearing that song. Yeah, what a song. You're right. You're right.
Amazing, amazing song, really powerful. And then, eventually I grew up a bit. But by the time of it's 1976, 77, and all of a sudden, whoa, all of this punk arrives. And that's exciting.
Yes, yes. Well, what were some other musical influences for you?
Uh, I would say Joni Mitchell was a big influence on me lyrically, in particular. I love her lyrics. I like her run of 70s records. I think they're amazing. I don't think I'm alone in that. So her and Neil Young, those records from 69 to 80, absolutely mind blowing. Uh, Stevie Wonder, those run of records from 69 to 80. Uh, just extraordinary stuff. So all of that going on. And then specifically the modern stuff that I got into was around the time of Joy Division and Magazine and Buzzcocks, and that then became something. Oh, I could do this.
Yeah, yes, yes.
So by the
Exactly.
time I hit 17, 18, I just wanted to be in a band that made music like that.
Yes, yes. So many fine bands from Manchester. Yes, especially that period, in the post-punk era, coming
Well, I
out.
was here. That's where I
You
lived, and
exactly,
yeah, so
exactly,
it made sense
exactly.
to do that. So I went to school in the middle of Manchester, and age 18, I moved to London to go to university, and that's when my horizons expanded more. I met a friend at university called Rob who got me into Killing Joke and Theatre of Hate, and
Right.
you just think, well, there's all of this world, and then of course electronics arrived and Soft Cell and Human League, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was all too exciting. University wasn't exciting. I just
Right,
wanted
right.
to play music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to DJ a dance club in San Antonio in the
Okay,
mid '80s, and I used to play "Love Like Blood" all the time. What?
great song.
Yeah, yeah,
Love Like Blood, Requiem,
yes, yes,
War Dance. Just what astonishing records of the way they sound as well.
yes,
Just
yeah,
that they're amazing.
yeah.
They still
Well,
stand up, don't they? They still
yeah,
sound amazing. That
yes,
first magazine album sounds amazing still.
right, right. Yes, it does. Very much so. Very much so. Well, what was the very first band that you were a part of?
So that was with my friend Rob. When we were at university, we were called the Surrogate Mothers.
Okay.
And it was fairly gloomy. We were trying to be the Cure. We were trying to be Theatre of Hate as a duo
It's a duo.
with a drum machine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, and we were busy because we were at medical school. We were both trained to be doctors, so it was difficult to get your head around that. And then eventually, I met Julian at a party in '84, I think it was, and come '85, uh, we had a band.
Okay. Well, did you have any recordings with the surrogate mothers? Or
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh, you did.
On
Okay.
on cassette, 4-track cassettes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one song from that period that made it into the Kitchens stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, maybe two, maybe two. Some really early B sides, uh, but otherwise the rest of it was discarded, and probably rightly so. It wasn't great.
Right. Well, speaking of cassettes, that's the what I when I picked up Strange Free World, it was on cassette. The first
Yes, those are the days.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got a copy of that, right. Well, talk about the genesis of Kitchens of Distinction and where the name comes from.
Ah, yeah, terrible name. So Julian had been at university with Dan, who was drummer, and they had a band together there. I met Julian at this party in South London, and eventually we sort of played a bit together and then formed a band. And we couldn't think of a name. We went through several, and then Julian saw this advert for Kitchens of Distinction, and I think by this point we were all so exasperated we just sort of went, "Oh, that'll do," not really thinking much about it, and it stuck. And we probably should have known better, but we kept it. Um, and it started with playing lots of local shows in London, and then we put out a single on our own label, a song called "The Last Gasp Death Shuffle."
Yes.
Uh, and then on the back of that and some demos, we signed to One Little Indian, as they were called then, Records in 1988. And that was it. On we
Yeah.
did. We did
Yeah.
another 8 years of
Wow. Well,
stuff.
yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you a couple things about that. The early shows, live shows. Did you play on any bills with other bands or support any bands?
Um, in sort of 87, 88, probably not. We were just doing our own stuff on multi-band bills. And then gradually, as things developed and with being on One Little Indian, put a single out with them, then we started being on uh, yeah, on with other bands. And now you're going to ask me who, and I'm just going to Ah,
That's all right if you don't remember.
yes, the memory. Yeah, it's just so long ago. It's very hard to remember. But and then suddenly things started happening, and then we started playing with bands like House of Love, Lush, Ride, um, and who else did we play with? Oh, early days. We opened for Tin Machine. Can you believe?
Oh, is that
In
right? Yeah.
in 1989, on their first album tour. Yeah, so that was the only time I ever met Bowie. Um, and we played with the Sugar Cubes. We played with the Triffids, Australian band,
Yes.
who were great. A lot, but we tended mostly just to do our own shows and have other bands opening for us. I don't know why. I think we're just very bad at playing the game of trying to be a successful band. Hence the name. We
Yeah. Well,
really, really made it difficult. We put a barrier up, going, get
yeah.
over this and see if you can still like the music.
Was it from an advertisement or what? Where did that come from?
Yeah, it was on the side of a truck.
Okay. 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 Just curious. Were other labels interested in the band?
Yeah, there were. I think there was. We wanted to be on an independent label. We wanted to be have control over our destiny, and it seemed to be the case at that time that we could do that. I think that was maybe a bit naive on our part, but the label like Creation or 4AD or One Little Indian, it all seemed very appealing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's,
so when One Little Indian said yes, it was like, "Yep, great, here we are. Let's go for
yeah.
it."
Yeah. Well, can I assume you guys, or at least Julian, was a Chameleons fan?
No, he wasn't.
No. No. Is
No,
that really? Okay.
absolutely. Dan was our
Okay.
drummer. He liked them. I didn't know them. No, Julian's influences were, uh, yeah, quite different to that. He was obsessed with Brian Eno. So Brian Eno, Jimmy Page, and just not what you'd expect. He liked the Cocteau Twins a lot. He liked that sound, um, and just much more ambient stuff. In fact, if he could make the guitar sound not like a guitar at all, that would be his
That
goal
that's what he
at
would
that
do.
point. Yeah, so I think a lot of the guitar
Yeah.
rhythmy stuff was me on bass compensating. I was
Okay.
no bass player; I was a guitarist, and so I wasn't as good as him. I ended up on bass, but I didn't know how to play the bass, so I just played it like a guitar, a bit like Peter Hook did in New Order. So it seemed reasonable to do that.
Right. Okay. Well, I was just thinking of that ringing guitar. It just kind of echoes of the Chameleons.
It
In fact,
does. It does. I think probably more Echo and the Bunnymen, to be honest.
well, yeah, yeah. Also,
Teardrop Explodes, probably more that sort of world. I think uh, I just don't think we were that familiar with it.
yeah,
And in retrospect, I see what you mean because I've heard Chameleons now and I've played with them, and absolutely I see it.
yeah,
But at
yeah.
the time, it wasn't on my radar.
No, no, not intentional at all. Well, that's
Well, me personally, I was listening to much harder stuff. So I liked Husker Du, I liked REM, I liked more punky stuff, Gang of Four, stuff Julian
yeah,
really didn't wasn't interested in.
right. Kind of more
So
angular.
it was like Brian Eno producing a Gang of Four was kind of where we were heading.
Uh, okay. Well, I have to say that the only time the Chameleons are my top, I mean, favorite band of the
Okay.
80s. So the only time I've been to the UK was Manchester. 25 years ago, it was 2000, to see the bands, to see them play, and their last show with the original members. Of course, the drummer passed away. So at that time, me and my brother were huge fans. We thought we'd never get to see them here because they never came to Dallas, at all. So
Right.
that this may be our only chance. We flew over there and to see them. Of course, the taxi driver taking us from the airport, what are you here for? Or to see the Chameleons? I haven't heard of them. It's like nobody. You could talk to locals, and they've never heard of them. Well, you
It was a
mentioned,
real shame. It was a
yeah,
shame. They
yeah,
deserved much more success than they had then.
yeah,
But they're doing well now. It's good to see them
yeah,
back, doing great.
yeah.
You
I've
must
seen
have
him.
seen them on their recent tour then.
Not the recent one, but I have seen him 4 times since. I saw him with Eve, as Birdie.
Okay, with Eve, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, at the Witchwood there in Manchester. I don't know if you know where
Okay.
Okay, that is. All right. Well, that was I didn't mean to diverge too much into
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. No, I
that.
get it. I get that.
Well, you mentioned the band's first single, Last Gasp, Death Shuffle. It was NME's single of the week, and that helped the band get that contract with One Little Indian. Yeah, yeah. So I remember again going back to the picking up the cassette of Strange Free World. I was picking up a lot of cassettes at that time. And I think I was right when before or right around the time that CDs started coming out. I don't remember exactly the time.
It was because it was 91. I remember buying my first CD, which was Pet Shop Boys, Berry. And that must have been 1989, 1990. So it was just that time of CDs coming in.
Yeah,
But cassettes were in the car, weren't they? So that was the thing about
that's
cars.
that's right. That's right. I still have the cassette player. Yeah, I held out. I was one of the last diehard, holding out, my vinyl. I didn't want to convert to CDs. I was one of those diehard, vinyl collector. But I finally gave in. And then once I gave in, I was like all in. So I've got more CDs than I do vinyl, you know. But anyway, I wanted to mention from Strange Free World, my picks, and maybe get, if you can, your history behind the songs or inspiration or whatnot. Railway is another fine song off of that one.
Okay. Um, what would you like to know?
What was the
How did
story
it come
behind the
about?
song? Yeah, yes.
Okay, so I would say that was our second album, and by that point, the writing was clearer. Julian would tend to write the music. I would write the words and the tune to go with it, and so it was a more. We had that collaboration worked out. I still wrote some of the music, the beginning music, like "Quick as Rainbows" was one of mine, but "Railway" was definitely one of Julian's. "Drive That Fast" was one of Julian's, and I would then go and get my lyrics. Lyrics always came second, and so it was music, tune, lyrics that way round. And luckily for me, Julian didn't care what I sang about, so I
I
sang
didn't.
about whatever I felt was important to me at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Railway, I guess, was a little bit of a what was it? I was having a tricky time with my family, and it was around it was kind of a conversation with my dad in sorts. That's probably what that tune's about.
Okay, okay. Well, you mentioned "Quick as Rainbows." That's my favorite. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I do
So
love.
we had that tune for quite a long time, and we didn't know what to do with it. And then on tour, we managed to figure out something new with it when we were in Sweden on tour. Back just after sound check, we were just playing it again, saying there must be something here, and then we figured it out. Finally, worked it out, and then brought it back. And that's when we got to play it with we did two versions. We did one with Martin Hannett, who'd produced Magazine and Joy Division, and then we did it with Hugh Jones again. Yeah,
Right,
so there's two different versions of that tune.
right. Yeah, yeah. I also like Martin's early production with OMD as well. Yeah, yeah. He did. Well, he holds her, he needs her. That's another one I like.
You write a song and then you fall out of love with it. And that's what happened to me with that
Oh,
one.
is that one? Okay.
And it happened quite a lot. So you'd write the album, you'd think, right, we can play all of this live, and then it's really weird. Within 6 months, because the pace was very frenetic. Within 6 months, I think we lost. Uh, we definitely fell out of love with half the record, and we did that for each record, and it was very frustrating because you'd go and then someone would say, "Oh, could you play that one?" He holds her and needs her, and Julian would just say, "I don't like it,"
Okay.
and that would be it. That would be
Yeah,
the end. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Well, it's kind of like
we,
you've moved on, since that time.
and it happened quickly. Yes, it
Yeah,
did happen quickly. So within 6 months, you'd have written, recorded, put out, and then fallen out of love with. And the things that lasted were very clear. They're the ones that seem to rise to the top.
yes, yes, exactly. I've doing these interviews, heard numerous stories of the timing has everything to do with it. An
Yeah.
album will be released after the band is broken up, and things like that, and so it's not always conducive to the best promotion and that kind of thing. Well,
I have to say, I'll have to go back and listen to it because I don't think I've
okay.
heard that song for about 30 years.
Is that
So
right? Is that
I
right?
have no idea what it sounds like.
Okay. You may hear it in a different light.
I
Well,
might.
Gorgeous Love is another one.
Yeah, again, Julian music. I wrote the
Yeah.
words, and this was a song about falling in love in London, and it was trying to capture that feeling of London nightlife as well as
Okay.
that thrill of being in love. But it has the most beautiful guitar
Yeah.
pattern on it. It's really pretty. It's
Yeah.
lovely.
It
Did we
does.
play it live twice?
Did you?
And then he just stopped liking it.
Uh,
Julian was quite impatient with these songs.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. It was. I still like that one. I can still hum it in my head and think, yeah, that's all right. That one. When I
Okay.
was doing these shows for this year, the idea was to go back to 1989 and pick songs from 1989 to 2025. And Gorgeous Love came up in that
Yeah.
selection. I still couldn't work out how to play it without it and make it work in the current format I've got it. But it's definitely there. And Railway, I still like those two. I think they're very lovely.
Right. And one that you mentioned earlier, I Drive That Fast is another one. Yeah.
That I can play. So
Oh,
we're still,
okay.
that's in the set. And Quick
Okay.
as Rainbows is in the set. So we do both of those.
Uh,
Um, Drive That Fast was the biggest hit for us. So that was the one that keeps happening. It
yeah.
keeps being played out there, and it seems to have a life of its own. Again, Julian wrote all the music for that, and I did the words. I did about 4 different sets of lyrics because each time I came with something, it just didn't fit, and then that worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, from The Death of Cool from '92, 3 tracks. On Tooting Broadway Station is one that I liked.
Oh, that's interesting. I think that's a really hard track to like. So well done, you.
Okay. Is that right?
I was
You,
playing. I
yeah.
play it in this set
uh,
currently, and
uh,
I was. Julian just said, "Why did you write this?" And I wrote the whole thing. I wrote the words and the music, and he said, "It's just so grim." I
yeah.
said, I was split. I was splitting up in a relationship, and it just seemed that's how I felt, and I wanted to be as honest about it as possible.
Yeah. I'm,
To the point where you just want to burn someone's body and take their teeth out. It was that bad.
yeah. Hey, I'm
And looking
attracted to
back
that.
at it,
Yeah.
it feels a bit over the top, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was a passionate song.
Yeah. I'm attracted to, what you say, sometimes you might say morose or moody music. I like
Okay,
dark, yeah, with dark themes. Yeah, I like
it's
that.
got a beautiful outro on the guitar, though, really lovely.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So he does well there.
Yeah. Smiling is another one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah.
So that got released by A&M as a single in America. We were on tour, and halfway through the tour, Julian said, "I don't want to play that one anymore."
Yeah.
And we got to Las Vegas, and I think we were on tour with Suzanne Vega of all people, and that song had done quite well on Las Vegas radio,
Yeah.
and he just wouldn't play it. He absolutely refused to play it. He just said,
Really.
"I don't like it. I'm not playing it."
Yeah.
And so he's got a lot of disappointed people. So people of Las Vegas, I'm really sorry we didn't play Smiling.
he had
It
a
was just
he had
he
a
just said no.
he had a stubborn streak. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When he didn't like something, that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Gone.
Okay. Move on. And then Can't Trust the Waves. A nice atmospheric track with the saxophone. I like that.
Julian sings that one.
Yes.
So he wrote that one, and then I did the words, but he wanted to sing it, so he got to do that.
Yeah. One of the
Again,
few.
very pretty. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's like the last track on Strange Free World. They're kind of a pair. I think I see
Yes.
them as pairs.
Yes. Yes. And then one track from Cowboys and Aliens. No, a couple actually. Prince of Mars. I like.
I like it too. I think that might be actually is almost my favorite that we
All right.
did.
All right. High five. High five. Yeah.
It's lovely. It just seems to work.
Yeah.
And we were listening to quite a lot of Neil Young at the time, and the sort of early '90s Neil Young when he was playing with Nirvana, and just thinking, well, what could we do with this that's a little bit more us, and that's what we came up with.
Yeah, yeah. And then Imagine Me Gone. I like the whole feel of that track. Yeah.
So that's bang up to date. That's this year. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That was yeah. So the solo stuff all is me doing my stuff without Julian. So I play it all. I can still play it all, and I don't tend to drop songs because I tend to like them or adjust them and back into something I like. And Imagine Me Gone, yeah, it's definitely a favourite of mine. That's in the set as well.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
playing next Saturday, and all these songs you're mentioning, I'm doing that, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. It's good.
well, good, good. We're hitting on cylinders here. Good, good deal. Good deal. Well, why did the band initially call it a day in what, 96?
Why? What's that line in? There's a Mercury Rev song called Holes, and bands those funny little plans that never work quite right. And
Okay.
I think when the fourth album went, people didn't like the fourth record, and it was very, very hard to maintain any sort of momentum after it. We got dropped by A&M, we got dropped by One Little Indian, and we tried. We did a bit more. We've recorded a few songs, but clearly the heart was gone. So I made the decision to quit,
Okay. Well, fast
which
forward
was
to 20,
awful.
yeah,
Hated it, but it was the right thing to do.
right, right. Well, you had become a family. I mean, you're with guys like that for so long, it is.
Yeah, and we weren't getting on, and everyone was angry, and it was just time to stop. Yes,
Okay.
so we stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, fast forward to 2012, and you and Julian got together and were writing some songs.
sort of. So what happened was I said to him, "We should do something new," and he went, "Yeah, but you have to write it all."
Oh, did he?
I
Okay.
said, "Well, do I?" Okay. So there was a bit of banter back and forth trying to work out how we do this. And what we ended up doing was I'd come up with some parts of the music, and then he would take it away and do his thing. So one track was Photographing Rain. And when I wrote that, it was almost twice the speed that it is on the record. And he said, "We're going to halve the speed, and I'm going to put 56 guitars on it." And that's what he did. So we halved the speed, and he did all of these tracks. And even if it's just one note, 56 guitar tracks, and it is extraordinary when you look at it. You don't hear that density, but it was a real pleasure just to be able to have that experience again.
Yeah. And then you would reunite with Daniel and release the album Folly in 2013.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
did. But we were never in the room at the same time.
Oh,
it was
okay.
it was
Right.
all done, because it's modern life. It was all recorded at different places. We all live very far away from each other, so
Yeah.
it didn't have the specialness of the first four that we were in a room playing these things out, trying to get it right.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
if I could do it again, I'd do it again. I'd definitely get us in a room and play and play and play until the songs are right.
Right. I hear that, the chemistry and the energy of playing together in the same space.
You can't replicate it.
Right. Right. You really can't. Well, post Kitchens of Distinction, you recorded as Fruit with guest vocalist.
I did a solo record as a kind of reaction to the Kitchens thing. I wanted to do something light and frivolous and very me, and it was all the stuff I couldn't do in Kitchens. And so it's this very crazy little pop record with lots of friends on it doing various things. And it's fun. There's one
Yeah.
track in particular called Prowler, which I'm very fond of. And I'm probably going to see if I can redo that one. So my friend David McCalmont, who was a singer, co-wrote it with me. And it has a kind of jazzy inflection to it and a dark, distorted bass line. Really like it still. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Mickey from Lush was one of
No,
the.
we got drunk and we just chatted, and I just recorded us chatting about how awful relationships were.
Oh, all right. All
So
right.
she doesn't actually sing on it; she just swears a lot.
Oh, she swears. Okay. You got her swearing. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to Phil King, who was in Lush.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Servants, Felt, Biff Bang Pow.
Oh, Phil King, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, how did you and Heidi Berry begin working together?
I'd been dropped after the Fruit record. So that was it, all done, gone. And I was working at a magazine in London doing some sub-editing, just trying to pay the bills. Heidi had just been dropped by 4AD, and we were both miserable. And we knew each other vaguely because we had the same producer, Hugh Jones, and Julian had played on one of her records. So I knew Heidi a little bit. And so I just phoned her and said, I'm miserable. You're miserable. Why don't we do something? So we started writing some tunes, and it went better than I think either of us thought it would go. And for a year and a half, we did this, and we grew it into a band, and we demoed it. And we tried really hard, and nobody was interested. Nobody bit. And I got ill in 1999. And I just thought, I have to leave London. I have to change my life. So I stopped working with Heidi and moved to rural Ireland, and just thought, I have to do something here. I was drinking too much. I was properly ill, lost a lot of weight, and made a big decision just to stop, change, go. So those recordings stayed on ice for 14 years until the guy who put Folly out, Julian Fernandez, said, what happened to that record with Heidi? And then they liked it and put the whole thing out, all the demos that we'd done. So basically that's an album of demos.
Okay, yeah, 2 CDs, yeah.
2 CDs, yeah. There's similar songs on both, because one's with just the duo and one's with the band. Right. And there's some lovely, lovely stuff on that. Heidi's got such a special voice. It's beautiful.
Oh, doesn't she? Yeah, I have to say, I followed her. I have her first solo album, and I just love Little Fox. It's like, it gets me every time I hear it. And then her cover of Heart Like a Wheel, both of those on that album.
It's gorgeous. On the Lost Girls song album, if you've not heard it, have a listen to Needle's Eye. It's beautiful. It's her song, and it's just astonishing. Yeah. You kind of think this is a missed hit. It's beautiful.
Okay. Oh, I love tracks like that, and her kind of a folk slant,
yeah.
Her voice really lends towards that. Well, of your solo albums, under the alias Stephen Hero, I think I like 2009's Apparition in the Woods the best.
Well, there's a bleak record.
See, there you go. Right? I tell you.
Wow.
I tell you, I like that. Yeah. Winter, when we do have it here, is my favorite season, I think.
You'd like it here now. It's really horrible. It's really dark and cold.
Yeah, I like overcast days. I do like that, So
Apparition in the Woods, I wrote it just after my mum died, and it was definitely coming to terms with that. I'd also been really, really ill and ended up having a kidney transplant. It was just this mess of stuff going on. And also I was working full time as a doctor, trying to pay the bills because I went back to medicine. So it was a confusing time, but I couldn't stop writing songs, and that's what you get.
Yeah. Were you working as a GP, just general practitioner?
2008. Yes, I was working as a GP at that point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, on that album, I like the piano and cello. I really like the cello.
So I met Stime, who's the cellist on that for that record, and it completely amazed me what she could do with a cello. And then we repeated that about 8 years later on an album called Deciduous Eccentric, and now she's playing with me live. So the setup live is me on keyboards, her on cello, and then guests on guitar. So it's either Yves or Julian. And then I've played with this guy called Luke Sutherland, who's in a band called Rev Magnetic. Extraordinary player. So that's how it's working out at the moment. Yeah. So Seema I was stuck with, and I love her work. So she plays her cello through effects pedals, through delays, reverbs, octaves. And so you get this whole field of sound. It's amazing. Just beautiful.
Yes. It's got the whole album. It's got that cold winteriness feel.
Yes, it does.
Which is what I like. Which is what I like.
Do you know, it has my most played song on it. There's a song on there called "The Snow That Would Not Melt."
Yes.
And there's a radio station in Greece that plays it all the time. I've no idea why, but I get notified for radio plays, and it's a big hit in Thessalonica.
Is that right? Is that right?
Well, I'm sure they don't have much snow, but maybe I'm ignorant. But
Yeah.
yeah, for a song about the train driver to Auschwitz, it's a fairly grim piece of work, and yeah, I'm surprised anyone plays it, but I'm also very glad. It's nice to see that it's out there.
Right, right. I find it fascinating, where your songs reach and what countries,
It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely blows my mind. Where you get to see who's listening to it in Peru this week. It's
Right,
wow.
right. And with the internet these days, you can follow that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, who's in the April 7? Is that still active?
No, that was a one-off project with my friend Paul. He was in a band called the Family Cat back in the 90s, and we got to know each other through a producer friend, Pascal Gabriel. He did a lot of records. I just keep remembering his band, Jack Adapter, and I like his voice. He has a slight sort of Scott Walkeriness to him, and so we ended up doing this album worth of music, and he's quite fussy. We ended up with 8 tracks that he thought were acceptable. And so we put those out. And there's one tune on there in particular called Commandant Commissar, which I still want to play live. So I'm planning to do that at next shows next year. But yeah, that was just a one-off thing with Paul. It was fun. That's a dark record if you want a dark record.
Okay, another one. Well, you have a nice full back catalog to dip into to play live.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's so much stuff, but also you have to keep people happy with stuff they're familiar with rather than just obscure cuts. Yeah,
there is an art to playing live, to doing that, right? Playing the familiar ones and then interspersing new material or material that's not so familiar.
Yeah. Time for you to go to the bar now. It's a new one.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Tell how you and Yves met, Yves Altana.
Yves came to see me backstage at a show. He said, "I like what you do. Let's do some stuff together." He's from Corsica. He's French, and I thought it was like I was a bit dismissive, I think, initially, but he was persistent, and I went around his house, and I really liked what I heard. And he played me some of these instrumental tracks he was working on, and they turned into what became the first Oscar's drum record. And that was a lot of fun. So that's how we met. He was still playing drums, I think, at the point with Chameleons Vox. And we did a show opening for them. Our first show was opening for Chameleons Vox. And then we sort of worked over the next 2 years. We put 2 albums out. And it was that same old thing with the second album was it seemed to bypass people. It didn't go down well. Yves was a bit pissed off. He wanted to make money and have more sort of creative fulfillment. He had an opportunity to go and play with Peter Hook, so off he went to play with Peter Hook, and quite rightly, it felt like it didn't have legs to it, which is a shame because I think some of those tunes are really good.
I do too. Well, interesting, because I did a written interview with Yves. Years ago now, and after this I can send you the link to it, if you have time. I know you don't have a lot of time, but
that's all right.
when you do, yeah. But that was from after I saw him with Birdie, with Mark here in Dallas. But is the name Oscar's Drum from the tin drum from that?
It is.
Okay, I thought so.
It's exactly what it was. So we were looking for a band name, and that came up. It's the idea of the child screaming, having that power to destroy things. That was very, very appealing to me. And again, it was a nice collaborative piece of work. So Yves would come up with most of the music, I'd come up with the singing, and it was fun doing it that way again.
Right. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Yeah. I just thought of that. I don't know why. At 3 years old, I don't want to grow anymore. Well,
exactly.
Well, the two of you would record a couple of albums. 2016's a Cathedral of Hands, and then Degenerate Art 2 years later. I prefer a Cathedral of Hands.
Okay,
Myself, the first one, but Green Veiled Mirror Ghost is a fine track. Yeah,
thank you.
yes, I really like that one.
That's a song about Joni Mitchell.
Is it real? Okay, okay. Now I'll go back and listen to it in a different light. Okay,
It was
yeah,
that moment. I was trying to imagine the moment where she met her daughter, who she gave up for adoption,
yeah,
and just trying to imagine what that moment felt like, which is
right.
in none of my business, but it was just something that was occurred to me. I could only imagine how traumatic that experience would have been.
Yeah, well, that's where that came from. Okay, Blackouts is another one.
Yeah, no, I like the bass line on that.
Yeah,
That's a fun song. Again, what's that one about? Blackouts. Probably about Susie Sue. It's definitely a fan song to Susie Sue.
I've heard how influential they were. And then the guitarist, what was the original guitarist? I've heard so much about him, how influential was Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah, yeah. The first
No,
two
no,
albums.
the Scottish. I think he's Scottish.
Oh, John McGeoch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. Exactly.
yeah.
Porcelain is another track I like.
Good.
And then one more Shadow Light. Shadow Light. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a favourite for me off there. So when Eve plays with me live, we've done "Arms of the Dark" off that record, and we've done a song off the second album called "Of Their Bones." The second album is much darker,
Yeah.
much weirder record. I get that. I know it is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a little too dark for me. That one. Maybe that's why I
yeah,
didn't.
I was definitely in a terribly dark place at that point.
Yes, yes. But you mentioned one of your other albums referred to earlier, Deciduous Eccentric from 2019. I like the Baroque feel of the whole album.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a favourite of mine. There's something about it that just worked. Well, Eve had gone off to play with Hooky, and Paul Frederick from April 7 was busy with his project, and I was on my own again. I just thought I don't really like being on my own, so but I also want to write music. And this time I'm not going to have any drums. I'm just going to have piano and cello, and I'm going to do that kind of stuff. And that was the only decision I made, is I want it piano and cello based. And then the rest of it all arrived as it arrives in some unknown, mysterious way. Uh, yeah, I'm still very fond of that record, which
Yes.
is quite unusual because I could easily hate my back catalogue, but that record I still like. Yeah, 6 years down the line, I still like it.
Well, you pulled in Heidi and Eve on that album.
I
Heidi
did.
vocals on Stripping All Over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice duet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There.
Yeah, she did some lovely stuff on that. And Eve played some percussion, I think.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. But Sime was the star of that record with her cello. I mean, just that piano cello combination just worked beautifully. And
Yes,
now that we're able to play it live for the first time, it's because I didn't play any of those tunes live. And it's so nice to get them out and playing them live and giving them air and breath again.
right. Breathing new life into the tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, Convalescence, just released back in February. Nice album, I have to say.
Thank you.
Uh, it's right up there. I mean, probably I like it second, my second favorite to did I? Yeah, I did mention that. Okay, never mind. I did go back over that. I'll edit that out. Yeah, second favorite, I would say. But Imagine Me Gone, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I like that
So
updated. Yeah, I like that.
Convalescence was very much trying to hark back to Kitchen's days. So
Uh,
lots more affected guitar, much more upbeat stuff. Well, in my world, upbeat,
yeah,
um, and trying to capture some of those memories of that band and being in that time. Again, it would be lovely to have played it all live as a band. In fact, I just played all of it, the whole thing, uh, which I didn't really plan to do, but it was just how it turned out. I did ask people to come and play on it, and they were all too busy.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I sent tracks out to people, and they're just
Yeah.
busy, busy, busy. So I ended up just doing it all, and I, I really, yeah, very fond of it. It's quite a dense record. I
Yeah.
think there's a. I think if you don't mind spending a bit of time, maybe have a listen to a song called "The Map Room," and a
Yeah.
song called yeah. So
That's one. That's one I like. Yeah.
I think that's quite pretty, that one.
Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, this is kind of harken back to the Kitchens of Distinction, some of the tracks on there. But the Map Room, that was another one. Yeah, I really like that.
I
And
can imagine Kitchens having done that. Yeah.
yeah, right, right, right. Well, and Leave to Be Gone is another one. It's nice.
So there's a live version of that which we did with Luke Sutherland in Glasgow, and that's coming out on a single in on a Japanese label called Punk Formosa next year. I have to say,
Yeah,
it really, really brings that song to life, and it just makes it go bang
yeah,
in a
yeah.
way that it doesn't quite on the record. It's all right on the record, but what Luke does to it and what Sime does to it live, whoa, it's amazing. I can't wait to share that with people. So that's probably coming out in the spring next year.
Oh, is it okay? That will be something.
It,
Yeah, yeah,
it's bloody fantastic.
yeah. All right.
It's so exciting. It's just hearing a song that you've written just come to life and just think, yeah, that's it. That's the version.
Yeah.
I wish it'd been on the record, but we had to play it and then we found it.
Then you found, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sometimes it works out like that. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep thinking back to Neil Young's version of Cortez the Killer.
Right.
And every time, the Zuma version on the record's nice, but each live version, it just gets better and better and better. And you think, there you go.
Yes, exactly. So do you ever look back at some of the songs? I'm sure you do and say, "Oh, I could tweak that. I could remake that."
All the time.
All the time. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. I know some musicians say, "No, I leave it alone. It was of its time. I never go back."
I don't go back to the ones I don't have interest in. If there's stuff
okay.
in there that's making me excited,
Yeah.
then I think, what can I do with that?
Right. Right.
Uh,
Okay.
I've got
Yeah.
a version of Drive That Fast on piano, which is fast and beaty and it's unexpected. So, just things like that. And I think, okay, there's
Yeah.
still life in this then.
Yeah. Now comes my two favorites from the album. I can't decide which I like best. Uh, Never Let Me Go and Exorcist Silhouette.
Oh, really? Those
Yeah.
last two?
Yes, the last two. Yes, the last two. Yes. Uh-oh.
Oops.
Oh, the camera's up.
I've just knocked it over, haven't I? There
Oh,
we go.
yeah. I thought you might have been living on the ceiling there.
Uh, I
No.
think I was just
Okay.
kicking the desk.
Yeah.
So yeah, Never Let Me Go. That was tortuous.
Was it? Okay.
Never Let Me Go took me 6 months to write. I just couldn't work out how to do it, and then the two vocal idea happened, and then it settled, and it was like, that's how you do it. And oh God, what I would have done to have someone else sing it with me. No one was free. No one would do
Nobody
it.
was free. Heidi wasn't
Nobody was
free.
free.
Oh,
It's just,
yeah.
there'll be a live. I'll have to do a live version with someone.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
An Exorcist Silhouette, yeah, lovely. My
Yeah.
friend Fern, who I've done some work with in the theatre, she came to read the lyric with me, and that was the only collaboration on there, I think, on that whole record. Yeah. So Exorcist Silhouette, it's just the idea of someone coming and exercising all of your demons, and they do it just by reading to you from a
Yeah.
book. That's it, just being read to.
Yes. I have to say I like the album covers for all of your material too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's,
So Convalescence is a picture of Marcel Proust's bed, which is in a museum in Paris.
I was going to ask you. Okay.
And you can actually go into his bedrooms, recreate it, but it's actually really his bed where he wrote all of his thousands upon thousands of words of In Search of Lost Time.
Yeah.
And yeah, a bit of filtering, a bit of color, and you have something quite wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have a lot of variety in your material as well. That's I've never been a musician, but that's always kind of baffled me. How you can have so much, and never repeat the same chords and things like that. And structures.
Oh, but you do. You just do it in a different way.
Oh,
Honestly, trust me,
is
you
that
do. Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you find little. The hard thing is to break those patterns. You know, you
Right.
just get into. You think, oh no, he's doing the DAG thing again. God's sake. Yeah, yeah. But trying to break those patterns and find something new.
Yeah.
Um, I do push myself quite hard on that. So what I'll do is I'll go and look. I'll go and play some classical music on the piano and see what composers are up to, and just go, oh, okay, that's what I need to be doing. Something a bit more like that.
I have to say you're very accomplished on the piano.
Oh, I wouldn't
From
say
what
so.
well, from what I hear, I mean,
I'm really, it's all fake. It's all fakery.
it's just
Yeah, I can get by, but I'm not
yeah,
skilled in the way I'd like to be skilled. I think my skill is just is the writing. That's the thing
yeah,
I can do.
right. Well, it comes through in the music. It definitely does. Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. Well, you're welcome. Well, what's go ahead and get us up to date. I know you said that you're busy. You've got a last show coming up.
Yeah. So what I've been doing, I've done live shows this year and recorded them all. And what I've got one more next Saturday with Julian from Kitchens and Sime. And we've got a 20-song set, of which there'll be 5 new tunes in it, I think. We've not done this year. Recording all of that, and then I've got to mix it all and mix all the other 3 shows because the first one was a rehearsal. And then hoping to put out a live version of everything next year.
All right. And when do you think next year that might come out?
I don't know. I've got to mix it.
Okay, you still got a lot of work to do.
Well, I've got versions from each show and then decide which version I like best. I've done about a quarter of the mixes so far. Um, and then there's a song coming out in 2 weeks' time on December 5th, which will knock your socks off. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not singing on it. It's
Right, right.
it's a cover of a kitchen song with someone else singing the lead from the Brighton show, and it's phenomenal, amazing.
That's something to whet people's appetite or fans' appetite.
Absolutely. So I look
Yes,
forward to that, and of course, trying to write some new songs. Always new.
right, right.
Always keen to learn new stuff.
Yes, yes. Well, I've heard that too. It seems like when bands break up, they don't stay in the same area. They go to all 4 corners of the universe, and it's really hard, like you said, to get back together, and to do anything together.
It really is. Yeah. So the kitchens won't. I don't think we'll get back together to do a show. It's a shame, but I just don't see how it could happen. So I'm in the songs instead. And if Julian's around to play, that's great. If he's not, well, we've got other friends to play guitar too.
What about Eve? Eve, are you guys still in contact?
Yeah, yeah. So he played with me in 2 of these shows. He's already done. Yeah, but he's up again now with hookies.
Okay.
I am bereft. Next year maybe.
Hook put his hooks in him, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
Peter Hook.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
He's got his hooks. Yeah, his hooks in him.
Hooks. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, yeah. That was a lame attempt at a joke right there, right there. But okay, well, and then how about Heidi? Any plans maybe to work with her?
I don't think Heidi likes doing stuff live. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. So I wouldn't impose that on her.
Right, but how about recording with her? Any more like lost?
Oh, always up for it. I'll see what she's up to, but it has to be the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. It does. It has to be conducive for both of you, and the right timing and everything. Okay. Well, Patrick, anything else that I may have omitted or we didn't talk about or you'd like to mention?
I think you've been really thorough. There you go. and it's really nice to hear that you like some of the more difficult tunes. So thanks.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Greg.
Well, you're very welcome. And that's what it's about for me. I guess some people have called it a deep dive. That's what I like to do,
Yeah.
not surface level stuff, and it's not, just talking about the latest release. I know a lot of interviews are just about that, but it's, I like to do a bio, and
Yeah, well, you've certainly done that.
well, all right. Well, it's not always going to be for everybody too, because with the short attention span for a lot of people and society in general, clickbaiting and all that stuff. It's you gotta spend some time. And I tell people, hey, you can watch it in segments. You don't have to sit and watch it all in one sitting. And pop you some popcorn and kick back. But
exactly.
So it's for the true fans, I think. And it'll be nice to hear from those. I like to read the comments and that kind of thing, and see what kind of mileage we can get out of it. So
fair enough.
There you go. All right, Patrick. All the best to
all right.
you. And
thanks, Greg.
I'll send you a copy probably next week around this time.
We'll share it happily.
Right. I appreciate it, and we'll say bye-bye for now, but not forever. Okay?
All right. Take care. Cheers now.
All right. Cheers out.
This moment, could you stay when nothing binds you, when nothing binds you, when nothing binds you to this earth, to me, to us. It's not easy. It feels good to want a solid truth, to flaunt your flag and tell your tale. hold your patience? Could you hold when nothing binds you? When nothing binds you? When nothing binds you to this earth?